In Beijing, on a crisp September morning in 2025, diplomatic corridors witnessed a moment that drew the attention of capitals across the globe. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang welcomed his North Korean counterpart, Choe Son-hui, in a setting carefully chosen to project both warmth and authority, the historic Diaoyutai State Guesthouse. Their meeting signalled not just another round of routine talks, but a renewed chapter in the relationship between two neighbours bound by decades of shared history, yet shaped by changing global realities. The opening handshake between Wang and Choe Son-hui, captured by the cameras, was more than ceremonial. It symbolised a reaffirmation of partnership at a time when both Beijing and Pyongyang feel compelled to present a united front against what they describe as mounting external pressure. Around the polished wooden table, delegations from both sides assembled, ready to address matters ranging from regional stability to economic cooperation, and to send a clear signal about their shared opposition to what they call hegemonic interference. For China's top diplomat, the day's agenda carried significant weight. Wang emphasized that trust and unity were essential in an era defined by uncertainty, and he stressed that China's long-standing ties with North Korea were not merely a relic of the past, but a cornerstone for navigating current geopolitical tensions. Choe Son-hui, speaking with measured resolve, underscored her country's appreciation for China's consistent support, especially in international forums such as the United Nations, and called for even closer coordination in the face of external sanctions and pressure. The significance of this high-level meeting was amplified by the timing. It came just weeks after North Korean leader Kim Jong Un made a rare visit to Beijing, his first in several years. That visit, closely watched by analysts worldwide, was widely seen as an effort by Pyongyang to recalibrate its foreign policy and secure stronger backing from its most important neighbour. For Beijing, hosting Kim Jong Un and now his foreign minister offered an opportunity to demonstrate its continued influence on the Korean peninsula at a time when great power rivalry is intensifying. The two countries share a complex history that stretches back to the early years of the Cold War and the Korean War itself, when Chinese forces intervened in support of the North. That legacy forged a bond that has endured even as political priorities shifted over the decades. Yet the relationship has not always been free of strain, from disagreements over nuclear tests to differences in economic policy. This latest round of talks in Beijing appeared aimed at reinforcing a sense of mutual purpose, highlighting common interests rather than lingering disputes. Inside the meeting room, the atmosphere was formal but not tense. The long conference table was lined with both delegations, their notepads and translation devices neatly arranged. Cameras recorded the opening remarks before the discussions moved behind closed doors. According to officials present, the talks covered a wide range of subjects: the security environment in Northeast Asia, the prospect of economic cooperation, and the shared goal of maintaining peace and stability on the Korean peninsula. Observers noted that this dialogue fits into a broader pattern in Beijing's diplomacy. By engaging Pyongyang in such high-profile discussions, China not only reinforces its role as North Korea's principal partner, but also signals to Washington and its allies that it intends to remain a central player in resolving regional disputes. For North Korea, these talks serve as an affirmation that it is not isolated and that it can count on Beijing's backing in a challenging international environment. Choe Son-hui, in her public remarks, thanked China for what she called its principled and consistent stance at the United Nations. She criticised what she described as foreign coercion and unilateral sanctions, portraying them as obstacles to peace and development. Her comments echoed North Korea's long-standing narrative that external pressure hampers its right to self-determination. Wang in turn, highlighted the need to keep channels of dialogue open, to build confidence among regional stakeholders, and to resist moves that he suggested could destabilize the peninsula. Political analysts have interpreted this renewed momentum in China-North Korea relations as more than a simple show of camaraderie. Many see it as a calculated move to send a message to Washington and its allies that the two countries are ready to act in concert when their shared interests are challenged. In an Asia-Pacific region where the United States maintains a strong military presence and deep alliances, the optics of solidarity between Beijing and Pyongyang carry strategic significance. The timing of the talks also coincided with joint military exercises conducted by the United States and South Korea, maneuvers that Pyongyang has long regarded as provocative. Against this backdrop, closer engagement with China offers North Korea not only political leverage, but also a sense of reassurance. For Beijing, maintaining influence over its northeastern neighbour serves both as a buffer in a volatile region and as a card to play in the broader dynamics of great power competition. While the meeting in Beijing did not produce any new agreements or dramatic announcements, it underscored a shared narrative that both countries see external pressure as a common challenge and self-reliance as a shared ideal. This alignment of perspectives, if sustained, could shape the diplomatic landscape of Northeast Asia in the months ahead. The gathering concluded with pledges to continue dialogue and deepen cooperation on a range of fronts, including diplomacy, security, and economic exchange. Though officials remained tight-lipped about the specifics of future discussions, the tone of the meeting suggested a mutual determination to keep their partnership robust in the face of shifting global currents. As the delegations prepared to leave the Diaoyutai State Guesthouse, cameras once again captured the moments that often matter as much as the words exchanged: firm handshakes, nods of acknowledgement, and the symbolic unity projected in their departure. For seasoned observers of regional diplomacy, such images are not mere formalities. They represent signals to allies, rivals, and the international community about where relationships stand and where they may be headed. For both Beijing and Pyongyang, this meeting represented more than a diplomatic courtesy call. It reflected a calculated choice to reaffirm a partnership tested by time, historical challenges, and external pressure. As the world watches developments on the Korean Peninsula, the ties between these two neighbours will likely remain a crucial factor in shaping the region's future. The scene in Beijing also serves as a reminder that diplomacy often unfolds not just in conference rooms, but in the subtleties of gestures, timing, and the broader context of world affairs. The deliberate choreography of this encounter, from the choice of venue to the carefully framed images broadcast by state media, illustrates how international relations are conveyed as much through symbols as through policies. Looking ahead, both sides face the task of translating the day's messages of solidarity into tangible outcomes that can address long-standing challenges, from nuclear tensions to economic isolation. Whether this renewed engagement leads to concrete progress remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is that Beijing and Pyongyang have chosen to stand together as they navigate a world increasingly defined by rivalry between major powers. For China, the meeting highlighted its enduring commitment to shaping the security architecture of its immediate neighbourhood and countering what it perceives as attempts to contain its rise. For North Korea, it offered a crucial opportunity to reaffirm that it has powerful friends willing to listen to its concerns. As night fell over Beijing, the significance of the day's events lingered beyond the walls of the guest house. Analysts and diplomats worldwide began passing the statements and imagery, weighing their implications for the delicate balance of peace and power in East Asia. For Beijing and Pyongyang, this meeting underscored a mutual resolve to chart their own course in an increasingly polarized international order. While the future remains uncertain, their partnership, forged in war, tested by decades of shifting politics, and now reaffirmed, appears set to continue shaping the regional narrative. Reporting from Beijing, this has been a collaborative coverage by AFP and CCTV, offering insight into the enduring complexities of diplomacy in East Asia.